So it's a great pleasure to introduce today the Honourable Benjamin Abalos Jr, who's the chairman of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority. The chairman has previously been the mayor of the city of Mandaluyong. He's a celebrated lawyer, an academic, and his period as mayor of Mandaluyong achieved many awards as one of the Philippines' greenest cities, one of the most child-friendly cities, one of the most business-friendly cities. And he's now playing this important role as chairman of Metro Manila, convening, coordinating 17 local mayors who between them lead the municipal governments that are part of the Metropolitan Manila area. Welcome to the World City Summit Mayoral Dialogue, the chairman of the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, Honourable Benjamin Abalos Jr. So, Mr. Chairman, we may come to the first question. Being the chairman of Metropolitan Manila Development Authority, how is that different from being a city mayor? You've done both jobs, so you should know. And what motivates you for this very important role?
Well, Clark, for one, if I'm the mayor of Mandaluyong, there must be an election. So I'm elected mayor before. But now it's different. I'm appointed by the national government. So primarily, I'm a coordinator of basic services. There are 7 mandates of the agencies. These are development planning, traffic, solid waste disposal, flood control, urban renewal, zoning, land use planning, shelter services, public safety, health and sanitation, urban protection. So I have to coordinate with the 17 mayors of Metro Manila. But more or less, it's more of the services that we would have to undertake. It should be harmoniously implemented among all the 17 mayors of Metro Manila. But if there's one thing that is relevant as of now, is the last one, the public safety, which we use during this pandemic.
So let's talk about the crisis, because you began by talking about keeping people safe. So how has Manila proved to be both resilient and agile during the pandemic? And what innovations have already occurred?
Well, for one, we have, of course, implemented the PDIDR. This is the prevention, this is the detection, isolation, and the treatment, and the reintegration. Of course, prevention is the contact tracing, detection is aggressive testing, isolation is, of course, finding treatment centers, and the treatment itself is having one hospital command for all 17 Metro Manila mayors, just one hospital command. And the integration is the mass vaccination we're having right now. But some of those that I would say is quite unique for resiliency is that every 3 days we meet, the mayors. We decide on certain measure policies like uniform curfew for all, uniform quarantine status, that will be the position of Metro Manila in the national level, if it's going to be ECQ or general quarantine, no? So only one voice. But I think one of the most innovative features that we've had is that we expanded to our neighbors. These are 4 provinces. And we have coordinated with their mayors and the national agency that these 4 provinces be included in our area so that there will be a buffer in terms of mobility of people. So that when we treat our region, there will now be a buffer, I will say, of a border control. So it proved effective, especially during the time that there was a pandemic when these variants, these mutations of the COVID first appeared. And of course, aside from that, the most important thing is always having one voice in Metro Manila. We help each other here. That's the most important thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It's very clear that much has been done in Metro Manila already to arrest the impact of the pandemic and to look forward to a future. So what do you think will be the most important adaptations that you will make to address the disruption that has come from the pandemic over the next 24 months?
Well, the most important thing, of course, is bringing it back to normalcy. Living normally, and of course, jump-starting our economy. To do this, we have to have mass vaccinations for the next 6 months. Just to give you an idea, is that last April, in Metro Manila, in the country, we've got about 1.5 million vaccines. This month, it will be 10 million. So you could just imagine the volume that it will have to adjust. But as I've told you, we're prepared for that. We're already prepared for that, even if there will be typhoon season. So aside from that, if we have to jumpstart the economy, we have now to vaccinate our workers, which we are doing on this day. On this day, we've now started rolling it out. And not only that, of course, we have to re-examine our policy, our protocols, ventilation-wise, even technology at that. So even if we have al fresco restaurants, dine-in will be allowed with this new technology. We have to revisit open spaces. What should be allowed for the future? So this pandemic has really changed the mindset of everyone. And this is what we want to do. Live up to the times. Have a cleaner, greener Metro Manila, a healthier one. Have an effective mass transport system and discourage people from using individual cars. Encourage bike lanes. Use rivers as a part of mobility. Encourage the greening of Metro Manila. We have this project, it's called One Home, One Plant Program. It's an appreciation of life. So it really changed the mindset of everyone, but at the end of the day, it will be a better life for everyone.
Well, Mr. Chairman, it's very clear from what you've said that Manila is now on the path to become one of the great livable cities of the world, and we look forward to seeing much more of your progress. Now, this year, the world is going to convene at COP26 in the city of Glasgow to address the climate emergency. What is Manila doing already to address the future of the planet?
For this perspective, for one, the sewage treatment plants, this is for the cleaning of the whole rivers, the tributaries, the canals, the steros. Number two is, of course, this Manila Bay. We have this project right now rehabilitating our bays. And number three, with reference to the parks, this Blighted Area Programme, our agency has allotted so much money for each cities of Metro Manila to transform blighted areas into parks where they could have 24-hour Wi-Fi. But those living within this area should promise that they will take care of this park. And of course, the promotion of mass transportation system so that people will just use mass transport instead of using individual cars. And likewise, using the river as a mode of mobility so that we could remove some carbon footprint with regards to pollution. River that will reach up to the provinces using our ferry. And not only that, but most importantly, of course, it's the air that we breathe. If there's one thing that this COVID crisis has shown is that it woke everyone up. That no one person can do it alone, not even government, not even the people, but everyone. The government, the private sector, and of course, the people themselves. If they be together, everything is very, very possible.
How do you think the cities of the world, and Manila in particular, will be different in the next 5 years?
Metro Manila is the center of commerce in the Philippines. It's the economic driver. It's one of the oldest regions in Metro Manila. So if there's one thing that we must be on guard, it's about urban decay. Urban decay in terms of migration to the city, in terms of pollution. What we want to do is to have a green urban region. Make people aware of this urban decay thing. So that more or less is my mission right now for the next several years. Make people aware of this urban decay and do something about it right now. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. It's such a compelling vision of the future of Manila, arresting urban decay, promoting new technologies, improving the environment for everyone, and creating a more productive region. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for speaking to us today at the World City Summit Mayor's Dialogue, and we wish you every success.
Thank you, Professor, and it's a great honor and privilege to be here. Thank you so much.